Hi, it's Lilly Hubbard, and today I wanted to get on here and tell you about some of the things that have been happening to me spiritually. I've definitely felt a shift in the spirit in the last week or so. I feel lighter. I feel like I'm not consumed by fear at all. Like, I just completely stopped listening to anything related to the virus. I was just tired of it. I just had gotten to the point where, like, it doesn't interest me, and I'm completely focused. Well, I'm like pretty much completely focused on God right now, and on God, on the Bible, and also on my family. And I'm just enjoying this time with my family. My husband's home every night now. We have the restaurant closed, so it's really nice to have this time together. And I know in a few weeks we're gonna have to reopen the restaurant, and I won't have him here at night. So I'm just and you know appreciating this time together. And I've gotten more into the word and into learning, into watching more sermons on the teachings of the individual books of the Bible, which I really like to do. Right now I'm trying to read. I'm in about to start the book of Ezra, and I like to read before I read each book of the Old Testament. Trying to read the book from beginning to end. And I like to start out by watching some teachings. Like, I like David Pawson, and I found this other great YouTube channel called 1 Hour, One Book. And he spends 1 hour on each book. And it's really good to hear the history of the Bible, of the book, before you start into it. So you can actually learn, so you can actually know what you're reading about. Otherwise, it can be really dull, right? If you're not understanding what's happening. So I wanted to also talk to you all about some of the things that I did that God trained me in with spiritual warfare. Besides like binding and rebuking, besides doing prayers of binding and rebuking the demonic, I've done a lot of fasting, and that really helped me push through breakthroughs, push through alcoholism and addiction, because I saved for the last three years, and I've fallen back into drinking and into smoking marijuana, and I was able to get out of that and get delivered from that through fasting. And the last time I drank or smoked, I think it was like a few months ago, 6 months ago, more than 6 months ago. And it was just a quick relapse. And I also had the gift of speaking in tongues the last time I relapsed. So it wasn't a long relapse. And speaking in tongues is really also very beneficial to bouncing back. Because I think what happens is that if we're not strong enough in our flesh and we fall back into sin, the enemy just comes in so hard. Not only does, at least for me, the enemy, literally, Satan tried to kill me. Like, it was horrible with the drinking. And Satan just taunts us and tries to tell us that we're going to hell, and wants us to just give up. He wants us to believe how horrible we are and give up on God, and because he tries to put those lies like God doesn't want to save us, and it's all just a lie. And so what I did was intermittent fasting, and starting out small, not trying to start out with a huge fast. I think that's really good, because it can be difficult. And just the fasting, it's how we get our flesh stronger and crucify these strongholds that we have. Everyone has different strongholds. For me, it's addiction and also gluttony. I'm pregnant now, so it's been hard I haven't really been fasting at all, but I might do a Daniel fast. So there's all different types of fasts. Like, a Daniel fast is not having any meat or dairy. But, you can ask God. You do this with God, and God will show you what fast is right for you. There's, all different types of fast. You could do a 24-hour fast. You could do intermittent fasting. That's what I did a lot before, and I wouldn't eat before, 12:30 or 1 o'clock. I'd eat my last meal, 7 at night, and then go for like 16 to 18 hours fasting. And a lot of that time I did drink some coffee in the morning just because God allowed me to have a little bit of coffee. And I've done fasts with no coffee. I've done 3-day fasts. Yeah, I've done all different types of fasts. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. And then when you stop doing it for a while, then it can be also just as hard getting back to it. But I think that's going to help a lot of people, especially with like just strongholds and deliverance. I had talked about deliverance in doing a Skype deliverance session when I first got saved. And yeah, I don't really recommend that. I don't really believe in deliverance per se. I mean, I think sometimes it can happen at churches, and I think that's good. But when you're actively, I don't know, I'm just not an expert on it. But for me personally, I know that some people are not ready to have the demons cast out of them. And if they're not strong enough in the flesh and they have a demon cast out of them, and then they go back to the sin, that demon will come back in with 7 of its friends, and it'll be so much worse for that person. So I believe that it's like, especially where I was so much involved in the occult. I literally prayed to a list of Hindu demons, probably like 20 to 30 different Hindu gods, right? Demons. I was so far into the idolatry that the process of deliverance has been over like a couple of years, really. It's been a long process. A long process. And they come out physically, like I had a parasite come out my nose. I sneezed and like this thing came out my nose. Like it comes out in weird ways, and sometimes it doesn't even come out like from fasting. It comes out just from just reading the Bible. When that parasite came out my nose, I was reading the Bible. It was really weird, and I just felt so much better when that came out. And yeah, I think people just need to allow the process to happen pair with God, allow God to deliver them these spirits, and just be aware of what's going on in your life. Be aware of your own thoughts to recognize whether you do have a stronghold, and you have to desire for it to go, for it to leave. You have to repent of it, right? So if you struggle with jealousy, gluttony, just repetitive thoughts that are keeping you focused on other people instead of yourself, like you have to recognize that, repent of it, and ask God to deliver you of it, and do fast. Like it's the easiest thing you can do. I mean, it's pretty easy compared to what your life will be like if you don't get delivered. So that's what I would like. I just wanted to get on here and talk to you about the power of fasting. And a lot of churches don't teach about fasting, I think because it was taken out of the Bible. I know there's some versions of the Bible that have taken it out, like Jesus said that some only come out through prayer and fasting. That was like only in the King James version, I believe. So you will feel, you're going to really be quickened in the spirit when you start fasting on a regular basis and doing it for God, not doing it out of selfish or motives or for vanity's sake, but doing it as a sacrifice of the flesh. It really humbles you, and in that, when you are humbled, God will exalt you. So thank you all. God bless you all, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more on me talking about God and my life here in Thailand, my family's life here in Thailand. God bless.